Most guys will look in the mirror and struggle to figure out why their anime physique progress is so slow, despite doing everything right like diet and exercise. Now you might think muscle growth speed is based purely on genetics, but that's not actually true. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you 5 ways you can force your body to gain muscle faster. Now one of the quickest and easiest ways for you to gain muscle as fast as possible is to train like your favorite fitness influencers. Think of guys like Alex Eubank, Togi, and the Trend Twins. So if you want to grow like them as fast as possible,
inject yourself with go-go juice.
But if you do not want to die early with peanut testicles and man titties, then this is what you should actually do. It's not to train like an influencer, it's actually to train like Luffy. Now, Luffy might not be the biggest anime protagonist out there, but he certainly isn't weak. Since the beginning of One Piece, which is a very, very, very long time, we've seen Luffy go from a skinny sailor to a jacked up pirate over the course of the series. Sure, it might be due to all that fighting and training, but in my opinion, a lot of that muscle might be coming from his stretching ability. Let me explain. See, your body signals your muscles to grow every time you exercise. This is because tension is being put on the muscle while it's being activated. This causes damage to the muscles. The body's like, oh no, we gotta fix that. We gotta make them bigger and stronger, and that's why they grow. But what you probably didn't know is that different parts of the exercise can actually help to grow the muscle just a little bit better. Think of Luffy. If he was just stretching his arm to grab something, it is putting a lot of tension on his arms, but it's not like a crazy amount of force. He's just stretching his arm. But imagine if he was stretching his arm and he had to pull something heavy towards him. Now you have even more tension, and now there's more mechanical force being applied to Luffy's limbs. So just like our muscles, they're going to be experiencing more of that mechanical tension when they are being stretched and contracted at the same time. You'll notice that in the bottom of a pull-up or a push-up, you are working with more tension because your muscles are being stretched as you're applying force, which is why you'll also notice that the bottom of the push-up and the bottom of the pull-up tend to be the most difficult parts of those exercises. So if you want to force your body to grow muscle faster, you got to take advantage of this mechanic by doing something called lengthened partials, which is just partial reps at the most stretched part of the exercise. Now, I'm not saying to just perform lengthened partials for the rest of your life. Full range of motion is still very important, and just using this method alone isn't going to help you grow muscle faster. If you don't believe me, just check out this study by Jeff Nipples. I know his name is Jeff Nippard, but I like calling him Jeff Nipples. So if I were me, which I am, this is how I would be taking advantage of this mechanic. The first way would be 1.5 reps. After performing 1 rep, I would then follow it up with a half rep, a lengthened partial. The second way I would do it would be as a finisher. After completing a set of full range of motion reps, I would then perform a bunch of lengthened partials at the end of that set. Ideally going for at least half of the amount of reps I did for the full range of motion set, or even better, just doing the entire reps again as lengthened partial. Both of these methods I think work because they take advantage of full range of motion training, and you get that extra benefit from the lengthened partials at the same time. But if you guys want more training methods like this, and you want to personally work with me to unlock your anime physique and protagonist glow up, I'm currently looking to work with 30 anime nerds over 20 years old and give them that roadmap to take them from NPC status to protagonist status. It's first come, first serve, so if that interests you, click the top link in the description. Now, I like both methods for using lengthened partials, but I think the second method is what All Might would use to train. Because if you want to grow muscle fast, look no further than the guy who can go from skinny to Mr. Olympia in less than a second. Now everybody knows this dude's catchphrase, go beyond plus ultra. Well, if we want to unlock an anime physique quicker, all we have to do is chant this every single time we work out. And I am not joking, actually. Remember when All Might was fighting that Nomu in season 1? He was nearly exhausted because that Nomu was basically made to keep up with All Might 1-to-1, except he could regenerate, which is not fair. So what did the #1 hero do when he was brought to his limit? He simply punched harder. Giga Chad. He just decided, you know what? I'm at my limit. I'm just gonna do more. And that is exactly the attitude we need, and that is exactly what we need to do. Once we finish a set to failure and we're pushed to that limit, we just need to do a little bit more and train beyond failure. But Kevin, how am I supposed to do more when I can't do any more? Maybe you think you can't do any more, but I promise you there is always something you can do. For example, let's say I finish a set completely exhausted, but I wanted to go beyond plus ultra. Well, I could take a 10-second break and probably get out 2 more reps. Then I could take another 10-second break and probably do another 2 reps, and then maybe another 2 reps. But Kevin, what if I can't do any more of that exercise? Well, you can still train beyond failure. After you finish a set to failure, you can immediately drop down to an easier version of that exercise. Just did pull-ups, do rows. Just did push-ups, do incline push-ups. But Kevin, what if I can't do any more reps? Well, you don't have to, because you can go beyond plus ultra in your set. At the end of the last rep, you can just simply hold that movement for time, which is going to increase that time under tension for your working muscles and help you to grow more muscle even faster than if you didn't do that. But Kevin, what if... Shut up, okay? There are no excuses. There is always something you can do to go beyond failure. I use these methods so much that I even include them in my Protagonist Method program. Over 1,000 people are using it to transform their physique in 3 months. So you, yes you little goober, can do it too. And the links are in the description if you are interested. Now, let's move on to probably the most fun way that we can actually build muscle faster, and that's by training like Sungjin Woo. Yes, we are going to again train like Sungjin Woo. This is going to be glorious. Now, it comes as no surprise that if you want to build muscle faster, you need to exercise that muscle a little bit more. But there's a catch. At some point, you're going to reach a threshold of volume where it won't help you grow more muscle. It'll just make you more tired. And that typical threshold is around 20 sets per muscle group for a given week. But there's actually a way to work around this, and that's by doing what Sungjin Woo always does and start min-maxing. Sungjin Woo has a completely customizable stat array. He can invest however many points into strength, intelligence, speed, whatever, but he doesn't need to invest all of his points evenly if he doesn't want to. He has the freedom to min-max any stat he wants depending on how he feels. He can go all in on strength and then minimize his speed, or he can do all speed and minimize his strength, or whatever he wants. He could be speed, strength, and completely stupid. I want that. I want to be that. And guess what? We can do the exact same thing. Now, full disclosure, min-maxing isn't going to help you build more muscle overall faster, but it does help with growing a particular muscle group faster. And here's how it works. Let's say in a given week, you've done 20 sets of chest exercises and 20 sets of shoulder exercises. But you realize, my chest is looking quite nice. Very good. Very puffy. But my shoulders, kind of flat. Not very good. Not cash money. What you can do now is actually reallocate your skill points, so to speak. Instead of doing 20 sets of chest and then 20 sets of shoulders, you can instead do 15 sets of chest and then 25 sets of shoulders, or even 10 sets of chest and then 30 sets of shoulders. The overall volume on your push day is going to be the same, but now you can min-max your muscles to grow whatever's lagging behind. But training like Sungjin Woo, All Might, or even Luffy is not going to matter if you do not train like Zenitsu. See, Zenitsu might be viewed as weak in the eyes of a normie, but I know there's a hidden power deep inside of him. Infinity Castle aside, if you guys follow this gent's teachings, I can assure you, you will be growing muscle faster than Zenitsu can do his first technique. Look at every single fight that he's been in. You know what he's doing 60% of people can't even do? And that, it's sleep. Take that, Togi. You waking up at 7 p.m. on a random ass day. Look, it sounds obvious, but some of you guys just don't know how to sleep. It is crucial for muscle growth. And if you want to grow muscle faster, fixing your sleep can be that instant hack. In this study, a single night of sleep deprivation reduced your muscle growth by 18%. So if 18% is happening after a night of no sleep, imagine like 2 hours less of sleep, 3 hours less of sleep. Imagine only sleeping for 4 hours. I mean, it's easy enough to say, hey, get some more sleep. Go to your room. But here, I'm going to show you some actual ways that you can get better quality sleep and more of it. 1, consume some more collagen. There's a thing in collagen that's called glycine, and glycine helps to regulate your sleep. 2, creatine. Big boy supplement here. Not only is it better for growing muscle, but it's been shown to actually mitigate the effects of sleep deprivation and fatigue. Number 3, cool down your room. Your body lowers in temperature when it starts to sleep, so sleeping in a cold room can help you sleep deeper and fall asleep faster. 4, put the phones down and put the screens down at least 1 hour before bed, ideally 3, but I know most of us can't, so 1 hour. And 5, read a book or do something else before bed. Just chill, man. You can meditate, you can read. There's a reason why we had bedtime stories as kids. You just gotta learn to chill, man. You've worked hard. you've earned your rest. But that won't actually force your body to grow more muscle if you neglect this next step. Because when it comes to actually dialing in muscle growth and giving your body an opportunity to grow it, you gotta think like Baki. After getting poisoned in one of his fights, Baki needed to recover. So Retsu, being the buddy that he is, cooked him up a very nice meal. When are one of my buddies gonna cook me up a very nice meal when I get poisoned? You guys would do that for me, right? Comment below. What would you feed me? So Baki eats, and he even drinks as well. It's very much exaggerated, but Baki's body heals very, very quickly. He gains most of his strength back, most of his muscle comes back, and even outside of this scene, Baki just eats a lot of food. And it's for one reason: to get stronger. With proper rest and proper exercise, all of that helps with packing up more muscle, but none more than proper nutrition. Because while your body is resting from the absolute torture that you gave it, it needs the right fuel to work its magic and actually start repairing the damage that you caused. You can't destroy a house and then try to build it with no bricks. And you can't destroy a house and try to build it with plastic bricks. You need the right bricks, and bricks in the first place. So here is a general rule of thumb of what I do to fuel myself after a hard day of training. For most people, 150 grams of protein is gonna meet a majority of weight goals. It's gonna be good if you're trying to get to 200 pounds, and it's gonna be great if you're trying to get to 150 pounds. Second, if you're trying to grow as much muscle as possible, aim to actually gain weight about 0.5 pounds per week. This is about a 250 calorie surplus every single day. That way you can bulk up and start putting on that lean mass. And finally, give yourself the right fuel. Don't use any of that junk. Just eat whole foods that your grandma could recognize. So now you know how to build muscle faster, but there's a big problem that everybody faces, and that's struggling to work out consistently to make any progress to begin with. So watch this video right here to understand exactly how I've been able to stay consistent for over 7 years.